Okay, so here again are some questions regarding stock prices. We did one just like this on the previous set, but we'll go through it again. So what they're asking, I'm going to skip to the end, they're asking for how much did she make on the sale of her stock after the underwriting commission is subtracted. So she had 300 shares at $10.35 a share. Let's first find the value of her stock. So you take the price per share, which was $10.35, and you multiply that by the number of shares, which in this case were 300. And that gives us a value of $3,105 for those shares. But they also have to pay a commission, and it says the underwriting commission is 8.5%. So we move the decimal 2 places to the left, giving us 0.085, and it's 8.5% of the value. So we just calculated the value just now. So then we take that value, $3,105, times the percent of the underwriting commission, which was 8.5% or 0.085. When we multiply that, we get $263.93 if we round to the nearest cent. Okay? And finally, they want to know how much did she make, otherwise known as the net proceeds. And we find that by taking, well, what was the value when she sold it, minus the amount of commission, or the amount she had to pay someone to sell it for her. We subtract those two, and we find out she made $2,841.07. Okay, here we have another question. I'm going to look to see what we're asking. It said, how much money did Brian Gray Foods raise per share of stock? Okay, so this is a per share question. We will first have to find out how much they made. So let's see what they gave us to work with. It says they sold 1,500 shares at 4 cents a share for underwriting costs. The total proceeds before paying commission was $32,921. Okay, so it says, hint, subtract the commission from the proceeds, which they found the value of the stock for us. We just have to find the proceeds from here. So we take the value of the stock, which they told us was $32,921. We're going to subtract from that this expense for selling it, which would be our commission. Now the commission was 4 cents per share. So let's find the commission. So instead of being the value issued times the percent, it's just a straight commission of 4 cents for every share, and there were 1,500 shares. 0.04 times 1,500 gives us $60. Okay, so $60 in commission. The value was $32,921. So to find the net proceeds, or how much they made, we subtract $60 in commission from that amount. And when we do, we get $2,861. Now, they didn't ask for how much they made. They asked how much they made per share. So what we need to do is take the amount made, the dollars, okay? Per share means divided by the number of shares. So we're going to take our $32,861 that we made, divide it by the number of shares, which was 1,500, and we will have our earnings per share. When we do that, it looks like they made $21.91 if we round to the nearest cent. $21.91 per share is what they made. Okay, so remember that per means division. All right, let's again look at what they're asking. So they're asking at the end, what was the price of a share? Okay. Well, let's look at what they gave us. They said they earned $245,000 commission for selling 1 million shares of Cornerstone Company stock. The commission was 4.25% of the value of the stock. What was the price of a share? So this one's going to take a little more work. We're going to have to set up an equation and solve it. Okay, so let's look at what we were given. It says that Drake Incorporated, they earned $245,000 in commission. So this is the person who sold the stock for them. The commission was $245,000 for selling 1 million shares. So the first thing we're going to have to find out is, well, what was the value of the stock? What was the value of that 1 million shares? Because here's the commission. It says the commission was 4.25% of the value of the stock. Let's move the decimal 2 places to the left so we can use this number. Okay, so at first we're going to have to find the value of the stock. The way we're going to do that is by using this formula right here. The commission is the value times the percent. Since we know the percent and we know the commission, we only have one thing missing we don't know and we'll be able to solve. So let's set that up. So the commission, which was $245,000, is equal to the value of the stock, which we don't know, I'm just going to call that V, times the percent of underwriting, which was 0.0425. We're going to use algebra to solve this equation to get the value of the stock. Okay, so we have V times 0.0425. To get rid of that, you do the opposite, which is to divide by 0.0425, and whatever we do on one side of an equation, we have to do the same on the other. So our value, again, this is not our final answer, but it's one step in the process. The value of our stock is going to be whatever 245,000 divided by 0.0425 is. And that looks really weird. This is a 2 here. Okay, so for the value of the stock, it's worth $5,764,705 and about 88 cents. Okay, so that's the value of the stock. What do we want? We want to know the price for each share. Okay, so now we're going to jump up to this next equation. Now that we know the value of the stock and we know how many shares, we're going to use it to find the price per share, which I'll just call P. So set up another equation using our top formula right there. So again, the value, which we just found the value to be $5,764,705.88, is equal to the price per share, which we don't know. That's what we're trying to figure out. I'm just going to call it P for price, times the number of shares. Now the number of shares it said was 1 million. So that's 1 with 6 zeros. And we want to know the price. So again, using algebra, we would divide to remove this 1 million and solve for our P. And we would have to do the same on the other side. So our answer is going to be whatever $5,764,705.88 divided by 1 million is. Okay, when we do that division, we get a price of about 5.76. We went around to the nearest penny, so just 2 places after. About $5.76 would have been the price for this stock per share. Okay, we have one more that's pretty similar to just kind of work through it again, look at the steps. So again, it says Drake Incorporated, this time they earned $450,000 in commission. Okay, this is commission. for selling. Here's our number of shares, 1.5 million shares, which is 1. The 1 is your millions, and then you put the 5, whatever follows the decimal, and then finish out with your zeros so that you have 6 after. So 1.5 million would be 1,500,000. Okay, the commission was 6.5%. How much was each share of stock? So again, we have to start with what we're given. We were given the commission, so that's where we're going to start out. We're going to use this equation. So the amount of commission, which it said was $450,000, should be equal to the value. Well, we don't know the value right now, so I'm just going to put V for value, times the percent of underwriting. We do know that. They told us underwriting was 6.5%. Move the decimal 2 places to the left, giving you 0.065. And now I want to solve for the value of my stock. It's times 0.065, so if you do the opposite and divide by 0.065, that will remove it, and I'll have my V. So I'm taking 450,000 divided by 0.065. When I do that, I get the value of my stock, which comes out to be $6,923,076 and about 92 cents. Okay, that's the value of my stock. I'm going to go up one more because what we're trying to find out the price per share. So now that we know the value, we can put it in there. We also know the number of shares, which we can put here in this equation formula, and then we'll use that to find the price per share, which I'm just going to call P. Okay, so new section, the value of the stock we just found was $6,923,076.92. Okay, and again, the value is supposed to be equal to the price per share, which is what we're trying to find. So we just put our variable there since we don't know it right now, times the number of shares. Now again, the number of shares were 1.5 million or 1,500,000. To solve this, we need to divide by 1,500,000. Okay, so we take our $6,923,076.92 and we divide by 1,500,000, and we get our price per share, which comes out to be $4.62 if we round to the nearest penny.